Hi, and greetings from sunny southern England. I'm in the small village of South Harting. Now, that's in the county of West Sussex. Got all that?
It's pretty easy to find. Locate London on a map and then travel southwest towards Portsmouth on the coast. About 20 miles from there, you'll see the town of Petersfield. South Harting is just 5 miles from there. This is a quintessential English village that really embodies the traditional rural aspects of life here. This is considered the countryside. The village's population, about 800 people. And, well, thousands of sheep. I mean, they're everywhere.
So I moved over here with my family in the summer of 2018. And so for the last 6 years, I guess you could say I've been a Connecticut Yankee living in Queen Elizabeth's and now King Charles's court. And everybody back home in America says, what's it like living in England? And I always say, if you don't mind getting a bit wet, I mean, it does rain a lot here, there's a lot to like about living in a small village like this one.
South Harting is quaint, picturesque, and historic. It feels like an ancient place. The village is surrounded by hills and farms. If you jump in a car, you can be in Petersfield in less than 10 minutes. But the village has everything you need right here. There's a small shop that's got fresh fruit and veg, milk, and excellent eggs. There's fresh meat, a great selection of beers, but more importantly, shortbread cookies and chocolate digestives, and a nice variety of coffee. Of course, there's more to village life than just a local shop.
If you walk further along the main street of the village, which funnily enough is called The Street, you come to another establishment that really makes South Harting tick. You could say it's the heart of the village. Of course, I'm talking about the pub.
It's called the White Hart, and it's been here in this spot since the early 1500s. So as far as watering holes go, this place is pretty old and very local. And honestly, this is one of the best things about living in an English village. Pubs like this one that are full of character and charm. And luckily for me, lots of real ales to pick from, carefully hand-pumped.
Oh, look at that. Beautiful.
Okay.
Thank you.
This is a Dark Star Hophead Golden Ale, brewed down the road in Brighton. And seeing how the sun is out, I'm going to find a table out back in what they call the beer garden. On a warm day, this place would be packed, but I seem to have it all to myself today.
This is what I'm talking about. Behold this thing of beauty, a pint of real English ale. Cheers. That's the ticket. And it's not warm. Americans think that all English beer is warm. It's definitely not. That's perfect.
Just past the pub, up on a little hill, is a major landmark and kind of the symbol of South Harting. It's the Church of St. Mary and St. Gabriel. Its steeple, made of copper, has now turned a really nice shade of green. It's visible for miles around.
This is a super old country, right? I mean, they don't call it merry old England for nothing. And as far as buildings and structures go, it doesn't get much older than this church up here on the hill. Let's have a little look.
It's a Saxon church that dates back to before the Norman conquest. That's the 11th century. So, about 600 years before the Pilgrims even landed at Plymouth Rock, people were coming into this church to worship, which even I can figure out makes it about 1,000 years old. Over the years, some restoration work has gone on here, mostly in the 1300s, and the roof had to be replaced after a fire in the late 1500s. But a lot of this structure has withstood the test of time, so it's kind of like walking back into the Middle Ages. And you never know what or who you may find.
So check out these amazing stone effigies in full color, no less. So this is the final resting place of John Cooper, his wife Mary, and their son, John Jr. Now, the Coopers were a wealthy family who lived here in Harting in the 1500s. And just take a look at how the clothes are depicted here. It gives you a real sense of what might have been considered the height of fashion some 430 years ago.
I'm not sure what John Jr.'s doing, but Lord and Lady Cooper seem pretty comfortable. So, I'm a recovering Catholic, and some churches give me the heebie-jeebies, I won't lie. But this place is kind of magical. You can tell it was built on sacred ground. And so, I always leave feeling peaceful and connected.
When you go by the church and you walk along the lane, you come down to a special area that they call South Acres. Now, this lane is pretty narrow and there's no sidewalk, so you just have to be careful that you don't get crushed by some sort of truck going by up against these ancient walls.
This is a lovely spot for old and young alike. There's a little playground where kids can jump and run and maybe practice their best parkour moves. I mean, who needs the gym, right? When you've got a place like this. And just behind the play area, there's a series of ponds, mostly covered by water lilies, but it's teeming with ducks and geese. I've also seen coots, moorhens, herons, and the occasional kingfisher. It's just like a Monet painting, isn't it?
When you leave the playground in South Acres, there's a little path here to the left. It's sort of a dirt trail that leads away from the village and takes you up into the South Downs. Now, the South Downs are a range of chalky hills that stretch across this part of southern England for about 100 miles.
Having access to the Downs is something else that makes South Harting such a great place to live. And walking up there is one of my favorite things to do, which I'll tell you more about in another video. Until then, thanks for watching, and as they say here, cheerio. Well, they don't really say cheerio. It's more like, see you later.